You guys know what time it is. It is Thursday, and we've got one hell of a show for you guys tonight. I'm excited to get into tonight's show. A lot of you guys need your football fix because the season is over, but there is no off season with the Locker Room Show. So we're about to get after it tonight. But first and foremost, let me introduce my boy that holds me down every single Thursday on the other side of the defense. None other than the man from St. Louis. That's Q, the Guru. What's going on, Guru?
What's going on, my man? What's going on, man? We got Big Vic in here. We got a bunch of cool stuff to touch on. Appreciate y'all tuning in. For anybody new, y'all pay attention. Make sure you hit that button, man, and we gonna get out of here in a minute.
Yes, indeed. We're going to get after it, and we're not going to waste your time, you guys. We know that you guys came to get your football love, your football guidance, your inspiration, and we're going to give it to you tonight. I'm going to get straight to the point. There's no way to sugarcoat who this gentleman is that you see in the middle of the screen. This is somebody that is literally like a brother to me. I met this gentleman on his recruiting trip to the University of Colorado. He made good at the University of Colorado, becoming an all Big 12 performer. Went on, you guys, to be drafted by the Detroit Lions. This gentleman was my roommate for 5 years at the University of Colorado. He knows more about me than he should know. I know more about him than I should know. But that's not for the locker room tonight. And it is none other than the great Victor Rogers. What's going on, big dog?
Gee, what's going on, fellas? Q, how you doing, man? Appreciate you guys having me on the show.
Definitely.
Hey,
oh, man.
And don't be short me, man. I was a second-team All-American, man. Don't be short me, brother. Don't be short me on my accolades.
There you go.
Put some respect on that man's name, dog.
Of course, I definitely put some respect on his name. And yes, second-team All-American. You guys, high school All-American. We're going to get into it, but probably one of the biggest things still to this day out of the great state of Washington, 6'6", 330-pound offensive lineman coming out of high school. Some of our before you go pro quarterbacks would have loved some blocking like that. And then, like I said, you guys went to the University of Colorado, started 4 years, and had a great career. So let's get into it, man. Obviously, big night tonight. Thank you. I know you're a busy man. So thank you for coming on in the locker room. I see the great Coach Foss saying he's here from Alabama, ready to hear the show. You picked a great show, Coach Foss. The Munoz family out of Texas. We love you guys out of San Antonio. I got Justin's Live Sports saying, Vic, what's your best away game hotel? We'll get into that. That must be somebody. That must be somebody that knows a little something. We got George T. Schramm. We've got my aunt coming in saying, good to see you, Vic. We love you, Auntie. And then, of course, my mother-in-law in Colorado saying, ready for another great show. She loves Vic, too, so I had to let her know. So let's get into it, you guys. Obviously, if you're joining us for the first time, welcome. All of the topics are on the bottom ticker, and we've got some great content for you guys tonight. So let's talk about opinions, Big Vic. Opinions, man. I mean, obviously, like I said, the greatest thing since sliced bread to come out of the state of Washington. Obviously, a huge recruit for, at the time, Rick Neuheisel and staff. And then you decide to go all the way from Washington to Boulder, Colorado, to play football. So I know, man, a lot of people wanted you to go to UW. I know that you could have went to Ohio State, a bunch of places. Everybody and their mom had opinions. For you, whose opinion really mattered? And maybe for the superstar listening tonight, whose opinion should really matter?
So I was blessed to be in a position where while my mom guided me on a lot of the thought processes that went behind the college to pick, she ultimately let me decide where I wanted to go. And believe me, she wanted me to be at UW all day. I'm not going to lie. I wanted to initially go to Ohio State, but after she started to peel back some of the layers of that onion and started to look at some of the classes them dudes was taking, she was like, nah, partner, you're not going across to Ohio to go to a football factory. You're going to make sure you get your education. And for me, University of Washington would have been the easy thing. But for me to become a man, I just knew I needed to get away. And then on my recruiting trip, I ended up meeting this young brother DB out of the Bay Area, and all of a sudden we hit it off, and then we became family. So my mom empowered me to pick the university that I wanted to, and she just wanted to make sure that if I picked that university, that I had a reason why, and it was more than just uniforms and all of the fly stuff that was going on at that time. She's like, "Hey, you a man now? Give me your business proposal of why you want to go there, and if it line up, then I'm gonna support you with it." So I was blessed.
I love it. I love it. And obviously, shouts out to mom. And I know that she's a strong woman that trusted you. But maybe for the young man that's listening tonight, is there maybe some overall keys or tips you can give them on who to listen to?
So I'm kind of old school in the respects that I know the game has changed from the time I came out. NIL money, and you got agents and all of these ears, all of these people in your ear nowadays. But what people can't forget is you can't forget what the main thing is. And the main thing is going to college and getting that degree, because the brutal fact of the matter is this. With all of this NIL money, all of the Caleb Williams and the Caitlin Clarks and the Angel Reeses, that's the 0.1% of college athletes. Most of these college athletes are going to go to smaller universities. They're going to be blessed and fortunate if they get $30,000, $40,000 a year. It's going to help them with some things, but you ain't making change your life type of money. So it's about going to college. It's about getting that degree. And more importantly, it's about learning the skills that you need that are going to translate into the real world. So if I'm somebody, my daughter is kind of looking like she may be able to go down that path. The first thing I'm going to look at is academically, what does that university provide you, and what can you get out of that university? Right. That's going to be the first thing. Then what is the culture fit for you? You know what I mean? Like, you're a girl from Colorado. Are you going to be okay down at a school down south? Are you going to be okay at a school in Iowa? What is the culture fit for you? I'm not even going to go ahead and take coaching into account for it nowadays, because everybody seems to be a free agent now in the college market, coaches and players. So It's more about the institution, what that institution is going to be like, and the things that you can count on. Because unlike us, the days of a recruiting class coming in with each other and finishing with each other, them days are gone. So all of the constant blocks that we had growing up, they're not there, everybody. They're not there anymore. You're not going to graduate with your whole entire class. There's a high likelihood that your coach is not going to be there by the time you get done. So you kind of got to put your bank and your money into the things that you know are going to be there. The education, the institution, the culture, the city. Is this a place where you might want to live after you get done? Because if you're doing the things like the internships and the networks, you might very well end up living in that state. So those are all of the conversations that I'm going to have with my kid, and that I would suggest parents have with their kids if they're blessed and fortunate enough to be in this situation.
I love it. I love it right there. And, there's a perfect example. You were from the state of Washington. You're still living in Colorado with your family, met your wife there. So I love that advice. And you young ones listening, you guys got to take heed to what he's saying right there and really know who to trust with your decisions. We're on to our next topic, you guys. And this one is a big one. And I'll start with you, Q, because you also played early, just like Vic. But I want to ask you, let's say a young man is in California and he can go to San Diego State or he can go to Michigan, okay? And at Michigan, he may not play early, but it's a blue blood school. If you see the field, who knows what will happen? In your opinion, do you have to play early to have a better shot at playing in the league?
That's a good question, Coach. That's a really good question. It really depends on the maturity of the kid. Can they, like, because all these kids are so athletically gifted, but can you digest the mental aspect, right? So it's one of those things where Alabama, that's what Saban has prided that program on, is kids waiting their turn. And I think because of, what Vic was saying earlier, to piggyback off of that, with NIL, the kids are automatically like thinking, well, hey, if I'm not starting as a true freshman, then I'll just go somewhere that I can, because I want to immediately start getting that NIL flow as quickly as possible. And I can't do that from the bench. But sometimes they're not looking long term either. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, we know the game inside and out, and we've seen guys that have barely started at all go to a blue blood school or blue blood program and still end up in the league just off the strength of the program that they were with, so it can go that way as well. But I mean, most kids coming out of high school, they want to go where they can play immediately, and I definitely understand that, man. So that would be the route. If you're mentally ready, physically ready, of course, but mentally ready, then I would feel like that's important, and you need to go where you can get on the field the soonest.
Talk to me a little bit, Big Vic. I mean, you just mentioned you got a daughter that's coming up through the ranks, and let's say that she has a chance to go to Kentucky or go to Villanova or one of these blue blood basketball schools, but then she could go to Colorado State or something and play earlier. And let's say her goal is WNBA. Do you think it matters? Is it better to play early at the small school or just get on the court at the big school?
I think it depends on what sport you're going into, to be perfectly honest with you. But I think for the football world, you're right. It pays, in my mind, if I can be at University of San Diego or I can be at USC and wait for 2 years, I'm going to USC. Because the brutal fact of the matter is I'm going to have exposure. I know I'm going to be in the environment where people are going to be looking at me. Where if I'm at the University of San Diego, no knock against it, I'm going to have less eyes on it, and I'm going to absolutely have to dominate at that level. And even when I dominate, it's going to be kind of an asterisk because they're going to immediately be like, well, look at the competition you're playing against.
These are facts.
You know what I mean? So if my sole goal is to get to the league, I'd rather go ahead and play as a sophomore, junior, and senior, or as a junior and senior at a blue blood, at a Penn State, at a Alabama, at a Ohio State, than be a 4-year starter at a smaller school, because your path to get there is just going to be a lot rockier.
Yeah. And that's a good point, because I mean, when you look at Marshall Faulk, man, coming out of San Diego State back in the gap, but his numbers, like you said, Vic, your numbers got to be ridiculous in a lot of cases, like literally ridiculous in a lot of cases, to be respected by the scouts. Like, okay, that translating to this level, this kid can get it done, or at least even if you get drafted, even being drafted higher is going to be more likely, if you're a starter, at a blue blood school. That's his fact.
And that's probably why we're seeing a lot of these D2 and FCS kids jumping in the portal that got some juice to move up. Definitely. And this may be one of them, one of my superstars, Big David Walker. I'm glad you checked in out of Nevada. And this is a good one, Dave, for you to check out, because Vic played your position and you're going to learn a lot. We got the great Glenn Haynes checking in as well. Amazing podcast, field goals. This is the issue with athletes playing at HBCU.
Yeah,
great point right there. Great point right there.
Absolutely.
It's that exposure and dropping that asterisk from your name, just like Vic said. Let's go on to our next topic, you guys, and thank you all for joining us, especially if you're joining us for the first time. I'm your host, Coach Terrence Wood. Far right, you got the great Q, the guru who knows it all. And then in the middle, you guys, you got someone that went All-American high school, All-American college, and then on to the NFL, giving you some love. My former roommate, Big Vic, in the middle there for you. So on to our next topic, you guys, and this is CU. CU, our alma mater, Big Vic, and the current superstar quarterback in a little Twitter feud. Shador Sanders, odds could be dropping a little bit because of a single tweet. Now, obviously, that's not going to happen. If he balls out on the field, he should be fine. But this is a good point that we're talking about. Deion and Shador Sanders doubled down on backlash disparaging former Colorado football players. So, obviously, there's been some former players talking about CU after they jump in the portal. What's your advice, Big Vic? If you are Coach Sanders, keep in mind, this is also your son. So it's not a normal coach-player relationship. But are you okay with your quarterback jumping into the Twitter feud, or would you rather him spend his time other ways?
I mean, I'd rather him spend his time other ways, because at the end of the day, what is this Twitter feud doing positive for him? And his daddy should know better, because his daddy is literally the Michael Jordan of DBs. So it don't do it. What positive does it do? Because if his goal is to be the number one quarterback, what are the things that NFL teams are looking for you to be? The CEO of their franchise. They're looking at you to be the leader. So you going at somebody who's no longer in the program, what does that say about you? So if I'm his dad, I'm like, come on, man, I get it, but let's just be real. Is this helping you? Is this helping your cause? That would be my conversation with him.
Yeah.
Okay. Talk to me, Q. I mean, like I said, it's picture being at Kansas, and then now this DB. You love your DB coach, and now this DB's in the portal to Kansas State, and he's talking mess about Kansas and the DB coach that you love and that recruited you. Are you jumping into the Twitter war with this cat, or is old school Q sitting back?
Nah, man, Coach, it's especially with a guy like Shedeur, man, and his possibility for going number 1 overall, man, that is a lot of bread on the table. I don't have the time, man, because what he has to understand is, man, all eyes are on Boulder. You thought everyone was looking at Colorado last season. This season is going to be huge, right? And the majority of the bulk of the pressure is resting on this kid's shoulders. So he doesn't have the time. He's already lost his starting running back, right? He's already gone. So, they're trying to shore up the offensive line to keep him upright because of the percentage of him getting sacked and ending up on his back last year, right? Because they don't have a bunch of Vics out there, right? So he needs to concentrate on delivering and making sure that he's showing the goods that his dad says that he has to these scouts and goes number 1 overall like he looks to do. That should be his only focus, nothing else. Matter of fact, like you were saying, Vic, if I'm Dion, I have somebody that I've hired to field all of their Twitter tweets. I don't even want you logging on. The only thing you need to be doing is looking over film, correcting any mistakes, and concentrating on week 1. Period. And staying healthy. That's it.
All right. Now, let me ask you this, Vic, just in general. Let me put the head coaching cap on you. You're the head coach of University of Texas. In general, do you have any problem? Now, different day and age than when we played.
Different day and age.
So, different day and age. In general, does Coach Victor Rogers, head coach of the University of Texas, have any problems with his players maybe jabbing at opponents throughout the week?
I mean, I do. And once I did again, because what it does is it makes you a target. And just to go ahead and flip back to what you had last year, what was the biggest thing that happened between Oregon and CU? That game was personal. Oregon looked at that and, like what he said, they in it for clicks. We about to prove it on this field. What it does is it just it leads to unnecessary just nonsense that don't need to be there. And all of us then put on the pads. You can talk all you want to. That's the beauty about football. It's the same thing as boxing. You got to step on this field. You got to get in this ring. So all of this talking you doing ain't really moving the needle at all. We going to see when it come time at 1:00 on Saturday what it's really about.
Yeah.
So ultimately, what are you doing? If it ain't moving us in the process of where we're trying to go, which is winning and staying focused and staying locked on, then it's taking away what we're trying to do. That's just my opinion, though.
No, and you spot on. And the thing about it is, Coach, the funny thing about it is that look what happened to Cormani. Look what happened to Cormani McClain. You're the number 1 high school corner in the country, and now you're having coaches, man, take their like, hey, I don't know if we want you here because of his tweets. Like these kids are in a day and age, and I know that they're way more technologically savvy, but you have to at least know enough that one tweet or one wrong picture at the wrong place can literally hurt you in so many ways that it's unrepairable. It's unrepairable. Now, Cormani McClain, you hearing it from the guru, I'm calling he's going to end up in like South Florida or UCF or something. Even though he has that much talent, because now you're, to a lot of people, you have all the intangibles, all the tools, but you're a head case. And guess what? We can find another Cormani McClain at some point out of this portal. because we don't want to deal with your issues because we don't have to. Why? Because we're Ohio State or we're Michigan or we're Notre Dame or Auburn. We don't have to deal with that. We can find another Cormani McClain. No big deal. That's what the portal is for. You know, so I tell any of you young guys, hey, stay off of Twitter. Matter of fact, I would make it a rule, and as a coach, nobody on Twitter during the season for sure. No Twitter, no Twitter, and keep your social media to a minimum. If it's not promoting a product or promoting yourself, maybe having to do with a product with your NIL obligations, stay off of social media. Period.
Okay.
That's
all right. You got it right there from the guru. We got some great people coming in. We got one of the great buffs, big bro TK, coming in, checking in on us, checking in on Cell Block. I appreciate you. Love you, TK. And then we've got some good commentary. Would you talk smack in your day on Twitter? What Justin's asking. And then Jimmy Rucker says tech savvy has replaced common sense.
Right. Oh no! Justin's Live Sports. Oh no, me. Oh no, you're gonna see me out there, man. We like Vic said. I'm on between those white lines. Oh, I'm out there talking crazy, reckless. You know, because it's time to strap it up. We don't have time for Twitter gangsters. When we strap it up and put that mouthpiece in, I'll be talking crazy because there's a whole lot. And that's the fun part. That's what we love about football, right? But that's when you talk. You talk when you standing over somebody because you done knocked this mouthpiece out. You don't sit up there just going back and forth on Twitter just for the media to
with someone who ain't there.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
There you go. Okay. All right, you guys. Well, hey, that's why we bring up these topics, because these are real-time topics, but these are also things that you young athletes going to face. You know, someone might pop off on your Instagram from the other team. What are you going to do? You going to get back to those push-ups? Or you going to get into an hour-long debate with this person? All right, so you guys keep that in mind as you move forward. We're on to the next topic, you guys, and this one was interesting. I mean, football constantly gives us, even in the offseason, great things to talk about, things that you guys are going through. The University of Alabama, Birmingham, we've actually got an athlete there, the great Tasai McDaniels, has decided, you guys, really by the guidance of their head coach, to become a part of a players association. So college football, college sports is changing daily, it seems like. And now UAB, you guys, has joined a players association. For those of you that don't know what a players association is about, this is a collective group, you guys, that will negotiate on behalf of football players in some instances, protect, support you guys. And a lot of times players have to pay dues to be a part of these associations as well. So let me throw it to you first, Q. Players Association may be coming soon. Is this something that you would have been up for as a player? Or are you like, hey, I like it the old school way, let me fend for myself?
No, I love it. I love it, man. It needs to be more to protect these kids in any way possible. Maybe it'll be where, you know, within this player association, you know, it'll be some type of curriculum on, you know, off-field do's and don'ts, you know, how to in regards to NIL, how to navigate that the right way. But no, I love it. I think it is definitely long overdue, in my opinion. So yeah, that's a great idea.
Okay, talk to me a little bit, Big Vic. I mean, you were someone I remember being very outspoken with how you felt things were handled when we were at CU. Would you have liked to be a part of a union or a players association?
Man, no doubt. Now, to me, this moves the needle more even than the NIL, because this is the stuff that's meaningful. Can we sit up there and come to the table and potentially at some point get a part of this TV revenue? Can we get some protections as far as when we're done with getting 5 years of medical insurance or whatever the case may be for the people who don't sit up there? Can we get some of our surgeries covered? Can we extend our window to go back and get our degree in our education? These are the things that ultimately move the needle. Can we get some of these gaming agreements and not be based on the individual who's, maybe the top player, but we all get a piece of the pie? In my mind, these are the things that, once again, financial acumen. In this world of NIL, you are literally trusting teenagers with adult problems now. Between the social media and the money that these kids are getting, you guys are giving these kids adult responsibilities and adult money, but they're still kids. So all of these things I'm in favor for as far as a union and having some kind of guidance to navigate through these things.
Yeah.
That's a great point right there, man.
It
For
is,
some
man.
reason, when you
That
said
is.
that, it just hit me,
Yeah.
the adult components, to kids having millions, and I mean, everybody wants the money, but do you know what comes with it, man? Do you know what does your family,
more money,
know
more
what comes with
problems.
And that's the thing, man. Like, everybody wants the bag. Nobody wants the responsibility that comes with the bag. And you can't have both. You want to be able to make all this money but not be criticized. You want to, man, it goes both ways. You can't sit up there and say I'm making $5, $6, $1 million a year, but have everybody pat you on the back, have everybody have your best interest in mind, and not get no criticism.
Thanks. Thanks.
100%.
No, absolutely.
The great Coach Hughes says wages, benefits, equity across the board. Yeah. So,
but that's the thing about it, Vic. But it's no curriculum to help the kids navigate through it. So, if you think about what you just said, that's a perfect storm. It's like that is an automatic problem waiting to happen. You have no curriculum, no structure, giving a 18, 19, 20-year-old kids a bag and no guidelines to follow. It's like, here you go, man. It's just. Yeah.
Hey, but keep in mind, we gonna hold you responsible for every mistake you made, though.
Oh, and
the whole world gonna know about that mistake.
By the time the sun come up the next day, right?
That's indeed. No, you guys, it's big, and that's why we have the locker room show, you guys, because these things aren't going anywhere. You got to hit these topics head up. And figure it out if you're a student athlete or a parent of a student athlete. So appreciate you guys sharing your heart on that one. Coach Hughes says the kids need to be taught financial literacy and responsibility. Yes, but from the right people, So the big topic, and that will continue to come up, you guys. The union and the players association's coming. It's coming. So we will be talking about that in the future. But on to our next topic, and this one was an unfortunate one. Luckily for this gentleman, he was able to walk away just with some minor injuries. But Texans rookie superstar Tank Dell, who actually finished the season on the injury list, you guys, was caught up in a nightclub shooting. I know recently, Q, we've talked about Vince Young and him getting punched at a nightclub, but Tank Dell was dodging bullets. He's not just dodging bullets on the football field, but in the club too. And I'll start with you, Vic, because we like to party, man. I mean, we gotta let out some steam after Oklahoma drill. So I don't know if they do that anymore, but everything's illegal now. Right. But hey, how give me some tips for the kid that's right now in Houston listening, from the kid that's in Oakland, Mississippi, that wants to go out with his friends and deserves to. Give me some tips on the type of places I should frequent or what should put my radar up.
So for me, man, it's one of them things where you get to a certain point, you got a target on your back. Once again, some of these kids is bringing in big time money. They iced out with real gold, not fake clears, earrings, and stuff like that we had. So they targets, you know what I mean? These kids is pulling up in $70,000, $80,000, $100,000 cars. So you got to go with it with that mindset. Now, if you on that level, you better have some security with you. And you better make sure that you are kicking it with people who got your best interest in mind. So, for example, when somebody spill that drink on you, you're going to have one or two homeboys. Oh, you going to let that fool disrespect you like that? You going to let that fool run? Or you got the one that, man, don't even trip, dog. We can get you another polo shirt, man. You got way too much to lose. And that's the difference, man. Sometimes we surround ourselves with people who really ain't got our best interest in mind. And then they the first ones pointing fingers at us, calling us dumb and stupid when we make the mistakes. So I know, once again, this talks about maturity. You're asking 19, 18, 17-year-olds to make these choices. And a lot of times, what are they going to do? Be loyal to the same people who they was with in the hood or whatever the case may be. And sometimes those people don't got your best interest in mind. So I would say, if you are at that point, make sure you got a driver. You at the point now where you can pay somebody $200 for the night to go ahead and drive your car wherever you want to go, wherever you want to be. You want to have some drinks or whatever, be responsible. That way you ain't in the air of a DUI. Surround yourself with the right people. And if you're on a Shador level or a Caleb Williams level or a Caitlin Clark or whatever, man, you better go ahead and drop that extra $50,000, $60,000 a year to have somebody follow you for security or whatever it costs, because they're going to be the ones who's going to insulate you from all that nonsense. And not only that, be able to see it coming when you're not paying attention to it.
I love it right there, you guys. This is why we wanted to have Big Vic on, because he's going to keep it plain. He's going to keep it plain for you. Q, you've talked about some of these things before. You've talked about the security. You've talked about, knowing the places that you're going to. Let me ask you a different question. Quincy Rowe just gets drafted in the first round from Kansas, top 10 pick.
Right.
New people will be coming into your life.
Right.
How do you vet these new people?
I would say, be it that you're so young, I'm not going to rely on my own intuition. I feel like that I've always said having a good relationship as well with your agent. I would also say, really, depending on your family structure, with your parents or whatnot, but just your solid people that you have as far as family, and helping them decipher, hey, this particular person, who to keep out, and who to let in your circle. But that's the thing that these kids need to understand. The higher and more market.
When does that have to start?
Man, that needs to start, to me, in high school. That needs to start in a lot of cases in high school. If you're even a highly coveted high school player, you need to be, because that way, the earlier the better. That way, it's no different. You already are in a routine in regards to, okay, the type of people that I want around me, the type of people that I don't, before you even walk across that stage. So by the time you get to college, you're already following suit. So I would say high school. Especially, if you're coming out of a powerhouse high school and you're a highly coveted player, you need to be acting in that manner right then.
Vic, did you feel conscious when you were at CU of who you were rocking with, and who did you have people that you weren't messing with and people that you were cool with?
Oh, no doubt. And I mean, for me, I kept it mostly to my class, the dudes who I came in with. Now, that don't mean that I wasn't boys with other people, but like that core group of people in cell block was kind of my closest group of friends. And while we all had our issues, none of us was saints. I knew none of us, we all had kind of a similar mindset. Yeah, we had little knucklehead tendencies. We do little stupid stuff, but none of us was just no hardcore criminals. I knew that I didn't have to worry about none of my boys carrying heat, because once you start with that gunplay, now immediately, you done escalated issues and the potential for issues to a whole nother level. You know what I mean? So it's I had a coach tell me once, show me your friends and I'll show you your future. That is a 1000% real. I don't know too many people who are successful, who are like-minded, who are running off, going astray. Same thing. I don't know too many people who ain't got no goals and no future sitting up there kicking it with people who do. And that's just the realistic fact of the matter.
Facts. And one more thing I like to touch on, T, what we were talking about, about security and whatnot and who you're around. I know a lot, we were having conversations in regards to the draft recently, and you always used to comment on Caleb's nice condo. I'd have a condo like that too. You know me to tell you why? Because I'm never leaving it. I'm right there in that nice condo, chilling. I'm not in the club. I'm right. You hear me, Vic? I'm not in the club.
No doubt.
I'm in this nice $500,000 condo watching Netflix, chilling.
When you do kick it, you got the Derek Jeter model where you decide who's coming into your domain, and you control the environment.
These are facts.
I like this one right here from Jimmy. He says, the woman that you can't bring to your mama, you don't need to be around.
Hey, I'm telling you 100%, because that's going to be a man's first downfall as soon as these checks get to rolling. I'm telling you. You may
No doubt.
I'm telling you, man, you
So
really
there you
gotta
guys
be
go. Hey, we all, just like we said, we're not naive. Everybody loves to go out and have a good time. We want you guys to have a good time in the social life when the time is right, but you better do it the right way. You better do it the right way, because he could have very easily lost his life. He could have very easily lost his life being in the wrong spot at the wrong time with the wrong people. So you guys keep that in mind 100%. But we are on to the next part of the show. Very excited about this part because I do know this gentleman very, very closely. But we are on to the lightning round. Is our version, if you're joining us for the very first time, of word association. So I've got a great list here for my guy. A quick peek right there. I got a great list for my guy. He's got to tell us the first thing that comes to his mind when I say something from this list. So it may be a person, it may be a either or, it may be what's your favorite, but Big Vic, and he moved fast for his size. It's an old school basketball player. He has some how fast he moved through this list. So you ready, big dog?
I'm ready. Let's get it.
All right. So the lightning round. We're gonna put Big Vic in the lightning round.
Here we go.
The stopwatch ready. Now, Big Vic, we don't just do this for fun, brother. We actually got a dinner on this, and I know you don't mind a good dinner. So if you can get to 17 or higher, it's a dinner on the locker room show. Next time I'm in Colorado, dinner on me. Next time I'm in Colorado, I got him at 0. I got him at 0 because I never cheat a roommate. And he also gets one for tech delay. So because we're in different states, if he gets to 16, he's still in the mix because we got a two-way tie by the great Miss Alicia Jones, who may be watching, and the great Clyde Logan, coach at Western New Mexico. We got a tie right there.
Yeah, it's up there. Hey, now see, y'all gotta understand now. See, if you don't know the game of football, right? Here's the guru gonna give you a little sauce real quick before we get started. Old linemen are the smartest dudes on the field, and I admit that being a DB, they are the most cerebral dudes on the field outside of the quarterback. So I'm interested to see how this goes, Vic. But real talk.
And I see the great Jimmy Rucker. Yeah, he was protecting me, Jimmy. It's rare to see an offensive lineman and a DB be roommates, but it worked out. It's like a cat and a dog. It worked out. So let's go with the lightning round. We are ready to go, and we are going to put my guy through a blitz here. So let me get back to my
now. Is this just any topic or just all sports related?
Yeah, it's just rapid.
We may go into it.
This is 2 minutes. This is 1 minute drill, Vic.
Okay, let's go.
Hey, no huddle.
Right,
back to the line.
Let your mind be free. Let your mind be free.
So I got 18 plays to go score a touchdown.
Right.
All right.
There you go. There's to get you a steak dinner. And wifey might be listening. So let your mind be free, brother. We're gonna get all over the place on this. All right. Number one. The lightning round. First thing that comes to your mind, Vic. Federal Way High School. Go.
Decatur.
Tom Cable.
Best coach I ever had.
Anthony Munoz or Orlando Pace?
Orlando Pace.
Best player you ever played against?
Ooh. Dwight Freeney.
Okay.
Rick Neuheisel.
Underappreciated.
Private plane or private yacht?
Private yacht.
Travis Hunter.
Beast.
Young Jeezy or T.I.?
T.I.
Gold or Bitcoin?
Bitcoin.
Favorite childhood athlete? He's rolling.
Shaq.
Sierra or Kelly Rowland?
Kelly Rowland.
Mango or pineapple?
Pineapple.
Antonio Brown.
Wasted talent.
Time. Okay,
He's close.
rolling.
He's close.
He
Yeah,
was
he's
rolling.
close. If he ain't got it, he's close.
All right, and we will revisit as we always do.
Hey, you did pretty good,
Let's
Big.
add 'em
Look,
up.
the question every week that gets everybody is best player you done played against, man. Because we always start laughing because there's so many killers on the list.
Look, we was in the Senior Bowl, and the first play I jump set Freeney, and I stoned his ass. I was like, oh yeah, this dude ain't that real. Man, the next time they had me do a deep vertical set and told me to block that fool.
That boy hit that spin move.
Oh man, I said I ain't seen nothing like this before. You
were coming out the Big 12.
Yeah. I was like, I ain't seen nothing like this before. This is different.
Gold jacket. So let's revisit. Let's add them up. He was rolling. I think if that one, if you did come up short, it was that one right there that held you back. But let's add them up. So number one was Federal Way High. That's the high school he went to in the state of Washington. Tom Cable. A lot of you guys may remember that name, former NFL coach. That was Vic's O-line coach in college. So that's 2. He's going with the Orlando Pace for 3. Best player was Freeney. Number 4, Rick Neuheisel, our former coach. Number 5, he's going with the Yacht for number 6. Travis Hunter is a beast for number 7. He's going with the TI over the Young Jeezy for 8. He's going with the Bitcoin over the gold for 9. Childhood athlete 10 was Shaq. And like I said, was a basketball player. He's going with the Kelly Rowland Destiny's Child over Sierra for 11. He's going with the Mango over the Pineapple for 12. And then Wasted Talent at 13. So 14 protect the lay.
Right there.
You could have got 2 more if you didn't get stuck on Freeney. So that was
tough. No, you're right.
That was a good one right there. Thank you for having fun with us. And we got the falls. We got some of our regulars going in here. Too many words for Antonio Brown. There is too many words for Antonio Brown.
It's all right. It's always going to be words for Antonio Brown.
Definitely. So
I should have just hit him with extra.
Right.
So let's go to our last section, you guys, and having a ball with my former roommate, my brother, the one that has always held me down since the first day I met him, Big Vic Rogers. Love you, man. And we are on to the Q&A section. So if you're with us live, you're in the comment section. It is open. If you got a question for Big Vic, if you know him personally, keep it PG-13 at least. And then I know that Q, you got something for Big Vic.
Definitely. So Vic, I wanted to ask you, man, obviously, man, we talking about football, the game we love. And I know you ran into a lot of injuries, while we were still in school. What mentally, man, made you just keep fighting through that, man? Because it's a lot of kids that run through, surgery, especially if it's more than one, and start getting discouraged, frustrated, man. And may in some cases, man, even in college, that their aspirations of getting to the league, may just hang it up, man. So what mentally just kept you pushing through those surgeries, man, going through rehab, getting back on the field and pushing forward?
So I'm not gonna lie, at one point in time I had to go see a sports psychologist, but honestly, when it all came down, it was my teammates, man. They was like brothers. I was like, through every surgery, I was like, man, I just can't imagine a life where I come in from class and these guys is at practice and I'm not with them. So I think for me, it was more just kind of that brotherhood of wanting to be something more than myself. And that to me was my motivation to just keep going. Like I couldn't imagine what it would have been like just being a normal student.
And I think that's a great answer, Vic. But what's so sad about what you just said, bro, is these young guys, man, will never have that, bro.
Never. And that's the
They'll
thing.
Never had that, bro. That's sad, man.
They forget that the main thing is about going to college. And a lot of these things, man, transfer over to real world. I'm a sales manager for a medical device company. One of the main things we look at, how do you deal with adversity? How do you deal when things ain't going right? How do you push through those things? And nowadays, these kids, every time something goes wrong, they either transferring or they looking for a way out. That might work for you the 4 years you in college, but none of them skills translate over to when you get to the real world.
Yeah. These are facts. But you got to think about it, man. This 2024, what y'all been boys, what, like, you talking 25 years, man. Think
Yeah,
about
man.
that
I
for
mean,
a minute, man. Just
look,
think about that for man. 25 years, man. And just like you said at the
It's not
beginning
gonna
of the
happen.
show, man. You talking about after your freshman year, maybe sophomore, you will not know if you stay. Even if you stay at your university, man, you won't know 80% of your squad by the time you a junior or a senior. That's
more
sad,
turnover
man.
than the pros. More
That's sad,
turnover
man.
than the pros.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is what's going on in sports. They're going to be able to do documentaries and case studies
Man.
on what happens with some of these kids and these schools, and it's going to be very, very interesting. People are going big time short games, and we got to see what the long term ramifications
Yeah.
definitely are.
Yeah.
Coach Hughes says he should have got 2 points for Kelly Rowland right there.
There you go.
There
you go.
We stuck a cord with Kelly. And I might have had some inside information to know that this gentleman would have chose that. But let's
No
go.
doubt.
I mean, Big Vic, I can't say enough, man. Super proud of you. It's crazy to think, just like you said, how fast time flies. Literally met this man in an elevator, Q, in the hotel during the recruiting trip. And he was the same way then that he is now. I think the first things out of Vic's mouth was something like, "Man, I'm not feeling these other cats on this trip." but they like, why don't we kick it? Because I'm not feeling, because Vic is literally the biggest thing in the room, figuratively and recruiting wise.
Yeah.
And everybody sizing each other up, from across the country. And Vic is like, "Man, I ain't doing this. You cool to just go kick it." So same person, man. Love you to death. Wish nothing but the best for you and your family. And thank you for rocking with us tonight on the Locker Room Show, man.
Definitely.
Oh man, Q, T Wood, man, I appreciate you, man.
Yeah,
T,
man.
1996 we took that recruiting trip, brother. So it's been a long time, man, and it's been a fun ride. It's been a fun ride, man.
See, that's what's going to school is about, y'all. See, that was you, man. This is what you want to go to college for and ball, man, because you got partners, man, for the rest of your life, man. Literally.
Yes, indeed. And we won a Big 12 championship together, and a lot of you guys are familiar with the 62-36 whooping that we put on Nebraska. That was Big Vic. That was Big Vic. That was this offensive line right here. Probably the greatest win on that football field. So, man, love you to death. I see some people jumping in here last minute. Make sure nobody has any questions. I don't doubt it. Big Vic, let's see, you the man. So, Justin, we love you. Thank you for joining us. But, man, keep up the great work. I'm going to be checking out your daughter, man. And let's get after it, man. Maybe a future buff, but we ain't going to hold her to it.
No, we definitely ain't, because she was like, "I ain't going to see you, Dad. You're going to have to see me play somewhere else." So, yeah.
It's a cold game.
Yeah, man. So,
all right, man. Well, give our love to the family, man, and safe travels. I'll be talking to you.
All right,
most doubt.
All right, you guys. Well, hey, you guys see why we wanted to have Big Vic on. Like I said, Q, I mean, literally met on a recruiting trip. I'll give you a little story. So last night of the recruiting trip, we're in the facility, and they're doing a special dinner, and they're showing everybody's highlight film during the dinner.
Okay.
And me and Vic sitting next to each other. Everybody's got a little round table. You got your family. Biggest recruiting weekend, so there's about 25 of us in the house, and people got family and everything. And what Neuheisel is doing, so Rick Neuheisel recruited us. You guys that are watching, this is Rick Neuheisel, for those that don't know. And then he went on and went on to the University of Washington while we were there. But what he was doing, Q, now this is good information for you young athletes that might not have been on an official recruiting trip yet. So what he was doing, Q, is as we're eating dinner, everybody's watching their film, he was calling people one by one back to his office. And when you went back to his office, he was trying to get you to commit to the University of Colorado. So what would happen is you're sitting there eating, you're watching the highlights, and somebody come tap you on the shoulder and say, "Coach want to come talk to you." So you could kind of see who the big dogs in the room were first, because they was getting the first tap, and Vic was one of the first couple of them. And then so I see him get tapped, right? And then he goes to the back room, right? But he don't come out for a while. All of a sudden, I'm getting tapped, and I'm getting told to go to the back room.
Right.
Now we're already a day into the trip, so me and him done already hit it off, and we've been kicking it and everything. So now it's the last night before you leave on Sunday. So now I got to go to the back room. So I'm walking back to Neuheisel's office. When I get to Neuheisel's office, man, Vic's sitting up on the couch with his arm up like he run the place. Like this his office. Got his feet up, kicked back, and Neuheisel is sitting on his desk playing a guitar. Just playing like he's serenading this cat.
Hey, dude.
And then
only Coach Neuheisel, dog.
You can't make this up. You can't make this up. This is my recruiting trip, dude. So I walk in, and these two cats just got the biggest smiles on their face, Q. And I walk in there, and Neuheisel was like, "Go ahead and sit down." So I sit down next to Vic. Right. And Neuheisel really wanted Vic, right?
Yeah.
Vic could have went anywhere in the country. He says, "Hey, we definitely want both of you guys." And I'm sitting here talking to Big Vic, and he's telling me he's not coming here unless you come here. Just like that.
Real, man.
So then I turn and I look at Vic, and he says, "So what do we have to do to get you here?" Just like that. So in the discussion, but that's where it stops. We won't go on further than that. But that's Vic, dude. The best of best friends, hold you down. But like he said, I kept playing because of my friend. You know, he's loyal as it gets.
Yeah, man.
And he called me in there, and Neuheisel was like, I need a 2-for-1. And this dude just had the biggest smile on his face. And we've been boys ever since. He used to call me even when I went back home to make sure I wasn't going anywhere, to lock it in. And we've been boys ever since. Roommates for 5 years, man. Godfather of my first child.
Bro, that's a hell of a story, man. But again, it's sad, man, because these kids, man, a lot of them will never ever see that, man. They'll never see it, man. You know, they'll never see it. I mean, man, that was one of the reasons, why, I had, when in the midst of my LSU situation going left, when I went to Kansas, it was like my roommate was my high school teammate. You know what I'm saying? So it was like I was still at home there, man. It was all love, you know what I'm saying? And there was so many guys, that already went there that was either from St. Louis that were great players, man, or from my high school as well, like Ronnie Ward.
The camaraderie
went on to get so it was like it was still a good fit. And again, these guys, man, I mean, these guys are in your life for the rest of your life, man.
Yeah. No, and that's why we didn't leave. When Neuheisel left, he left our redshirt freshman year, man. We still had 3 years to play, and we ended up winning the Big 12 championship under Gary Barnett. But that's why we didn't leave, because of each other, because of the camaraderie, the brotherhood. And like you said, man, now if the wind don't blow right, these kids are out.
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's not playing for you're not playing for the guy on the left or the right of you, man. It's just it's the everything is the me show. Everything is the me show. So it's unfortunate.
Speaking of the guy on your left and the guy on the right, you know who this gentleman is. We got the great HB joining us.
Big head HB up here.
A former teammate of both of ours in the Arena Football League, and another one of my brothers. I've known HB since HB 9 years old, little league to high school. So thank you for joining us, brother. Love you, man. and then we got Munoz family,
Slick
You got
Rick.
that.
Slick
got
Rick.
that. Yes, indeed. So, hey, hopefully you guys enjoyed tonight's show. And yes, Mom, true
Oh,
brother.
yeah.
We ate many of your food. We were in your house and all that. But if you guys love the content tonight, and you guys love the Locker Room Show, where we bring you organic, real life stories, journeys, advice, you guys got to share this. You got to share, help us join and together to build this community. Please like, subscribe, let everybody you know, if it's an athlete, if it's a coach, a player, a parent, let them know about the Locker Room Show, you guys. This is a labor of love for QNI, and we got some great people coming in to speak to you and give you guys some love. Also, tonight's show is brought to you by NILLLC.org. We talked about NIL tonight, and a lot of you guys think NIL is just for the big dogs, but with NILLLC.org, you can learn how to navigate just like everybody else and make the most out of your NIL opportunity. It doesn't matter the sport you play. You need to start learning about this in middle school, high school, you guys, so that you can take advantage to the highest level. So hopefully you guys enjoyed tonight's show. Really had a great time with Coach Ford. Yeah, we got plenty of stories. We got plenty of stories, brother. That might have to be a Locker Room After Dark.
Hey, HB, I'll deal with you later, man. I wear these big glasses with your forehead in mind. You got to think big, so I.
All right, so we're going to shut down this show before it goes off the rails. But we love y'all. Make sure you like and subscribe, and we will definitely see you at the top. You guys have a good one. All right.